Hey everyone, this is Michael for Spirit Comics. Welcome to my channel. Welcome to another review. This one is The Life of Captain Marvel #1. I do ask that you please subscribe to my channel, as it's a small channel. And if you do, please don't forget to smash that notification bell like She-Hulk so you won't miss any new uploads. Also, please do like and share this review if you enjoy it, and share it with others. And don't forget to leave your comments. Like I said, this is The Life of Captain Marvel #1. Now, initially, I was not going to buy this because I wasn't too thrilled with the last arc of the previous Captain Marvel series. And I wasn't sure how this was going to play out. But I have to give a shout out to Yellow Flash, because he reviewed this before I could get down to my local comic shop, Purple Earth Comics, here in Huntington, West Virginia. And I listened to his review, and I saw the artwork, and I was very impressed. So I made sure to get a copy of this when I went down to my local comic shop this past Wednesday. And I got a variant cover. I didn't get this cover. And I am so glad that I did pick this up, because this shows consequence first. And it shows consequence due to the actions of the father, Danvers, but the consequences are those of Carol Danvers. Anyway, it opens up in Maine years ago when Carol was much younger, and she was a very cute little girl with her brother Joe Jr. and their friend Stevie, and they're just hanging out. They're having a good time. They're in being rambunctious there in the summer, and Carol's remembering all this as she's fighting this villain, punching the crap out of her. And then the father steps in, saying, "You could have gone over the cliff for some stupid kite. How could you be so dense?" Well, it didn't look like that. But anyway, the kite gets torn to pieces. And Captain Marvel is taking that pent up rage from 20-some years ago. See, that was from her father. And she has that same look that he did. She's kept all that emotion inside of her for 20-some years. That's probably why she's such a badass superhero and can beat down bad guys so easily. But she's remembering what her mom said, that just stop her, she'll make it worse. And it's like nobody sympathized with her as a little girl. And so, oh man, I love this artwork. Just look at it. It's beautiful. And the other Avengers, Iron Man, Black Panther, the Mighty Thor, She-Hulk, and Captain America here all realize something's wrong. Because even She-Hulk says, "That looks like Hulk-sized anger to me, and she should know." So all 5 of them, they go to check this out, see what's going on. And Captain America has to literally hold her back because she is so filled with rage, but she's weakened at the same time that she's filled with rage. She can't breathe. she's remembering what her father did and what her mother did. And she's wheezing. She's not breathing properly. So this next page is in Tony Stark's lab. Now, he checks her out, does every test possible, and she is healthy as can be. Now, I want to mention the artwork here. How that there's shadow against the light on her that actually brings out the muscle in her body. And I also want to show this top panel here where she's laying on the bed. She has hips this time. She actually has hips, whereas in the previous run she did not have hips like this. None that I could see. And she basically tells Tony what's going on. He hugs her because he understands. And they talk about it later that night. And she decides to fly home. And again, beautiful artwork here, showing the contrast between light and shadow is wonderful. And her eyes are like ocean blue right here. Very wonderful. And she arrives to her home, says, Harper's Sound, summer home of Captain Marvel. She's thinking, oh brother. And then she magically changes from costume to civilian clothes, and she lands and sees Sugar's Donuts, official donut of Captain Marvel. Official? I didn't know that we've made it official. And she's talking to her old friend Lois Lee, and they exchange pleasantries, and then she goes and flies home. And apparently Lois called and told her mom, because she says, "Hi, Ma, I'm home," and she hadn't been home in 20 years. And her mother, who is a vision of beauty, says, "Why didn't you call ahead? Lois said you were in town." And she's like, "I forgot how fast news travels around here," which is the same way. It's the same in my town too. And her mom has these really interesting pancakes cooking that she smells as soon as she walks in the door. And she has beautiful expressions on her face here and here. And she goes around back to play with her brother, who she would call Joe Jr., but he said it's just Joe now, and she says Triple J, just Joe Jr. And he says, "Great." She flies and she tells jokes when she bothers to come around. Oh, so you can see there's a little bit of animosity between them, at least on the brother's part, because she wasn't there for a long while. And they continue playing and having some fun. And then Joe Jr. said something that Captain Marvel, she's a big time hero back in New York City, but up here she's just an H. And I didn't get that. But their mom calls them back for dinner. And around the dinner table is where everything sort of comes unhinged. Because the brother says, "What are you doing here, Beans?" That's his nickname for her. And she's asked, does family always need a reason to see family? And he says, family? No. You? 100%. She says, maybe I was just, flying by and I missed you all. And, or the lasagna. Try again, he says. And then the mother senses what's going on. She says, Joe, Ma, I'm not going to sit here and fake it like she hasn't blown us all off for years, even when Pops was sick. And so that's basically where he's at. She was not there when the father, which beat them both up, was sick. And so later that night, he's out at the cemetery, and that's their father's, headstone, talking about him, and he's saying that, no matter what you say about him, that, Ape's still our father. And she's like, that's nothing to be proud of. And he says, here, your turn. She says, no, I'm just here for the grumble. And I'm not sure what grumble means. And so he drives away. Roar! And what she was thinking here. Said, part of me knew I should go after Joe Jr. I mean, nobody in my family was any good with a bottle. And, part of her knew that she should have gone after him. But instead, she's still very mad at her father. And, given what he put her through when Carol Danvers was just a little girl, just a little tyke, I can fully understand it. And she throws the bottle against the headstone, and then she smashes the headstone. I can fully understand that, and I think it's justifiable, because she has to get that anger out. But that anger is what leads to this next consequence. See, here it says, scream, crash, boom. She doesn't know what it is, so she flies over and sees that someone did a high dive off the bridge, and she sees it's his car, her brother's car. So she gets him out, and then it goes kaboom. And even though she saved him, it wasn't in time, because he's at a medical hospital and he's had traumatic brain injury, the doctor says. So Carol stays with her brother for a very long time, and you can tell it's a long time because her hair has grown out from being, really short. It's now very long, beautiful, luscious, blonde. And then she gets this weird text from Team Tony, and and she turns off her phone, and all of a sudden Tony appears like in a holographic form. She says, Tony, what did we say about this? He says, you don't return my calls, you don't return my anything. And she says, not true, I returned that entire stuffed zoo you sent. And he says, 9 months now. I can tell time by the nearly imperceptible growth of a woman's hair. It's a skill. So is counting, she says. And that's how long she's been there, 9 months, because you can see how beautiful her hair is, how long it's gotten. And not only that, her brother has been in the hospital for those 9 months, and they're just taking him home. And I have to say, I cannot say how beautiful she is. She actually looks more womanly than she did in the previous Captain Marvel run. She looks beautiful. Like someone I wish I could meet in real life. But of course I can't, because she's a fictional character. And so they bring her brother home. And apparently her alien cat has been hissing with the Earth cat. And just look at her face here on the far right. She's smiling. She's glad to have her brother home, and she looks radiant, just like her mother, who is in the kitchen cooking, but not to eat. Just to have it smell like home. And Carol says that she'll move into Joe's room since he took the couch. And this is where it starts to get a little bit strange. She goes upstairs with her belongings and finds this letter. And I don't know who it's addressed to. And it doesn't say to whom it's written to in the body of the letter. But it's from her father, Joseph, and she thinks that he was having an affair. But look at the expression on her face. Those eyes, they're so beautiful. Even though she's shocked, I could just get lost in those eyes. And still, her hair looks just beautiful. I am so glad I got a copy of this. And then she finds something which looks like a Super Nintendo controller. But actually it's a piece of technology. And so she takes it out to the garage, and she's going to try to smash it open with a hammer for some reason. I'm not sure. Maybe to get out some of that anger. I don't know. But then her mom calls her back in. And this part is strange. That piece of technology sends some sort of signal up into the universe, and something is born, and I totally didn't get it. But maybe it'll be explained in the next one. And Tiny visits her again. And just look at it. Look at her lips here on the left. They shine beautifully. And she is drawn so beautiful. I swear to goodness, if she had this type of attitude in the previous run, and if she was drawn this way in the previous run, it would have been a hit. It would have been a hit with lots of readers, and may not have gotten canceled when it did. But it is what it is. So overall, I really enjoyed The Life of Captain Marvel #1. It's even better than Batman 50, which was a resounding failure. There's more dialogue in this comic book. There's more examples of consequences in this comic book. This is everything that the previous Captain Marvel run should have been. In art, storytelling, but, like I said, the previous run, it is what it is. So I'm glad that I picked a copy of this up, and I am glad that I have it in my collection. I have the variant, which is a very beautiful cover. I look forward to number 2. I have to give it to Margaret Stoll. She did an excellent job with the story on this one. And the artist, who was, let me see here. Let me see. Who was the artist on this? Marguerite Savage. That's, I may have. No, that was that was the artist for the flashbacks, and I probably mispronounced her name. I'm sorry about that. If either of you bother to review it, watch this review, I think you did a wonderful job. And I do look forward to the next one. So, I thank you for writing a wonderful comic book. It's not often I can say this much about a comic book, that I can say how much I really loved a comic book, because most of them today are just, they're good, but they're not great or excellent. But this was an excellent comic book. So, thank you for visiting my channel. I am Michael for Spirit Comics. If you're new to my channel, please do subscribe and smash that notification bell like She-Hulk so you will be notified each time a new video is uploaded. Also, please like and share this video with others so they can enjoy this review as well. And please do leave your comments down below. Till next time, true readers, I am Michael for Spirit Comics.